Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Got a great broadcast lineup for you, as I hope and I pray that we always do. I'm not important, just a question asker. My name is Raheem Aljamaik out of the big time Decatur, Georgia. Well, I see Atlanta. Y'all know more about Atlanta than y'all do Decatur. So let me say out of big time Atlanta, Georgia, and we're gonna go around and let Mr. Hicks center yourself, sir. You kind of all center just a little bit there. Fiction. There you go. There you go. I'm gonna let everybody that's here already introduce themselves. We got a couple other brothers that's coming as well. Right there, I'm gonna go to my left, my right, depending on which way you're looking at it. Mr. Hicks, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Yes, I'm Mr. Hicks, I guess. Mr. Hicks, I'm hailing from Anderson, Alabama.
Good deal, good deal. And Stanley, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Thomaston, Georgia, Upson County.
Good deal, good deal. We got a couple of topics where let me explain to the people that may be joining in for the first time, and good to have you. You can be a part of the conversation. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We got on this is Real Men Being Men, and what we do on Tuesday nights, we do something called Four Square Conversation. We have 4 different topics, and we try now listen to them. We try to get to each and every one of them. Sometimes we do, depending on the flow of the conversation. Sometimes we don't, but it's 4 square conversation. We talk about each one of the topics, 30 minutes apiece. We're here from 8 until 10, and we hire in a happy elephant, a lady, and porcupine proud to have each and every one of you with us. Mr. Hicks, we're gonna start with you with this topic, and I want to hear. I don't want to hear half. I want to hear your whole heart on your answer to this particular question. All right, I want to hear your whole heart.
We'll try.
when we go to a lot of the churches. When we go to a lot of the churches, brother, 80, 85, sometimes 90% of the church is women. And that leads me to this particular question. What keeps most men out of the church?
I think because, from my experience, because the majority of the members are women, and they're the major supporters and backers of the ministries, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the teaching bends toward the feminine perspective. You know.
Wow.
That's what I saw. You know, and a lot of so therefore the ministers had a sort of effeminate flavor to their words and actions. I'm not talking about gay now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's effeminate kind of thing, not the black man, not the black preacher that's a warrior.
So so you think a lot of times is watered down a little bit. The message is watered down to cater more to the women.
I don't think it's watered down. I think it's how's this? I don't think it's watered down. I think as a minister in ministry, a lot of the minister goes on behind the scenes. It's when the member call them and talk personal about their personal problems, and try to help them a prayer way out of it. So ministers are require the utmost of character, because they get intimate in terms of conversation, intimate because of what's going on in people's lives. So I don't think it's watered down, but I think when it inspired the preacher, from my experience, you know, I've been around a lot of preachers. My experience inspired them when they speak is to address those issues that they've heard from women. Men don't talk to the pastors. Men, how's this? The few men, usually the husbands or the wives of a few, but they are, they're soft. You know, I'll give you an example. I had a recent situation. You know, my great granddaughter's got sick, and Both of them went to the hospital at the same time. Boy, maybe some of my people would get on this line and hear this thing. But there's a feud going on between. There's a feud that's been going on. A lot of conflicts been going on for the last year or two, I think. But my ex moved in with my granddaughter, helped her get a house in Atlanta, and it didn't work out. And so there's been a rift there. So when this happened, my daughter Salima and her daughter, they didn't contact my ex about it. They contacted me. So I called her, and I told Salima, I said, make sure you inform your mother. She didn't. So and I don't want to lose my point, but the thing is that the reality of things, and for me, and the only way I could respond to it, because my daughter, she put it the real thing. We have this family line where you send a text out, it goes to everybody, cause a whole lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was and they churchgoers. 7 days after they go to church, they Bible class and all that stuff. They in the church, right? And I just said simply, I said, if this is what you believe, and this is what you say you believe now, it says the first commandment given with a promise is to honor thy mother and father, to live for your time in the earth. And it sort of put a jolt on it like that, because a lot of times in our life, when these situations come up, we don't rely on the wisdom of what we learned. You know what? I lost my point. I really have.
It's okay. It's okay. And let me get you back to what we're talking about is what keeps most men out of the church.
Oh, well, there we go. We're back to that. My father met my mother when she was on a revival. I was the firstborn, so I wasn't even here yet. And my mother was at this, and she was preaching, right? And my father got touched by the preaching, but he told me later he got touched by how she looked too, right? So he got saved. I mean, he got saved to get close to her. You know, it wasn't like it was fake. It was like he was really trying to change his life. The culture of them down there, they drank. They drank, they carried knives, and they fought. And then there was like the Hicks, about 12 of them, right? My father was younger, so they had a little reputation. Anyway, he got saved, got into church, and he tried to hang for him, and he told me, this is when I'm grown. We talk about, he's telling us here. He said, he said, man, it's like they be bossing the women around, right? The preachers, whatever the preachers say, and then they want to boss me around.
Wow.
So it's hard. It's hard for a man to humble himself to be bossed by another man.
Yeah.
It is really difficult when it's a woman. So my mother, being an evangelist, she's more intellectual, and she had more Bible on her. And I think he shied away from that kind of thing. But men in general, I tell you, I haven't been to church a long time.
Wow.
Long time.
Okay. That's good. Stanley, are you with us? Stanley, there you go. I want to ask you the same question, brother. And we got our EJ. He just came in with us too. We're gonna bring him into the conversation. EJ, turn your volume down just a little bit, brother. Your volume is a little bit low. We're getting some feedback sound from your line. So if you can turn it down just a little bit, I definitely would appreciate that. Stanley, let me ask you this question. And I preface it by saying that there's a lot of. Oh, we lost him. Hold on for a second. Let me get him back here.
I'm still
There we go. I preface it by saying that a lot of the churches is 80, 85, sometimes 90% women. Majority of the population of the churches is that unbalanced. And so my question is this: what keeps most men? What do you think it is that keep most men out of the church?
Give me a ring. I could barely hear you.
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What it is, there are black men in it. Don't want to seem like there are no men in the church.
Yes.
And what is happening? And I can't remember if it was you and I talked about this conversation. I had this. What's happening is the men that are in the church, petition. Everybody wants to be in charge. Everybody wants to have their name recognized. But what we're not doing is we're not behind us to replace us as we get older and start to die. That's what I'm seeing mostly, especially in the AME church. We have men in the church. The average age of a church member, especially AME church member, is 60. Okay. So if we're not bringing in anyone behind 60 next year, so we've got to bring in some to replace us as we are going forward. But, and I hope I don't offend any of y'all Falcons fans, but on Sunday afternoon, man, these guys are trying to get out of the football game. The Falcons and the Steelers, so the team seems to be more important than serving God. Young brothers see this. You know, they're not going to come in church if their father or grandfather or uncle or whoever seems to think more important than coming into the Lord's house.
Exactly. Wow.
You know, so that's what we've got to get some of these young brothers involved, because it was somebody I was talking to today, man. I was somebody, I want to do this and do this and do this for my grand. In the next 20 years, I want to have them situated and all that. And then in reality said, if the Lord let me stay here, I'll be 79 years old.
Yeah. That was you and I talking.
Yeah, that's like reality hit me in the head. I'm like, wow. So we've got young people to take over, because if we don't, I'm talking about us. If we don't, man, time is just really moving so fast, like a brick. The day when we was talking, I will be 80 years old if the Lord let me stay here 20 more years. And if we're not preparing these young brothers, you know, I was telling someone the other day, growing up, you know how you would see they called the Amen corner, we called the old man corner, granddad and the uncles and all the men in the community.
Yes, sir.
Was over in that corner. It's us now. And a lot of brothers don't seem to realize that we have, as far as being role models and mentor our family members, but young men in the community. So we've got to figure out a way to get into the church. Like I said, we have men in the church, but they're dying off. Place them. Because the younger generation, when I was growing up on Sunday, it wasn't no come down the hall and ask you, are you going with me this morning? No. All right. You better be in there.
Better be ready to go. Absolutely.
Give them an option. Church today, I don't feel like going. All right, well, the food in there, we'll be home at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, eat before we eat. You going to the church with everybody else.
Exactly.
But now they don't do that, man. You know, the work ethic is gone, participation is gone, the respect is gone, the serving the Lord. You know, people, because nobody's instilling it in them. They let them make their own choices.
It's good. That's good. And that is a huge part of the problem. That's a huge part of the problem. We're going to keep this thing going. We got our EJ with us. EJ, good afternoon. Well, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, brothers. How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell everybody where you're hailing from.
Right now, I'm from South. Right now, I'm in South Georgia. I'm originally from Atlanta. But right now, I'm in South Georgia. I got a 16-acre ranch down here that I bought about 5 years ago that I'm just, getting everything together. But it's nice. God's been good to me. I've been blessed.
Now watch this. Now don't you tell me no fish. You got no fishing pond over there. Don't tell me that now, because I'll be over there tomorrow.
Not yet. Oh, now, okay. If the people sell the 5 acres next to me, that's what's going to be there.
There you go. There you go.
What part of South Georgia is he from? Right here, what part of South Georgia?
You know what Dublin, Georgia is?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know what Dublin is, give me another 30 minutes past Dublin, 25, 30 minutes past Dublin. That's where I'm at.
You in East Georgia, okay.
Yep.
Westville?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. About 30 minutes past, about 25, 30 minutes past Dublin. About an hour from Savannah. About an hour and a half from Savannah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
he's down between Dublin and Salford. Then okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Good.
yeah. You got it right.
Now we're asking a question, AJ, and I want to hear your heart on this, man. We're talking about the church, and the church a lot of times is 80-90% women. Majority of the churches that you go to, and I'm asking the question, man. What is it that's keeping most men? What is it that's keeping most men out of the church? So they're not even participating or being a part of the church. What do you say to that?
In all great honesty, what I think it is just that we've gotten so far away from a few things. I call it. The nuclear family, the black family has just been broken up so much till there's no leadership there. There's no father figure there. There was once upon a time when most households were a two-parent household. The father went to work, and the mom kept the house and things like that. If she had a job, she could, little stuff to do to help out and things like that. But we've gotten so far away from that to the point where we got so many young brothers. We got so many young brothers out here, and what they're doing, they're just fathering all these children and not settling in one spot. They're having all these children and not being involved in their lives and things like that. And what else says black men need are leaders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we need a leader. I mean, and that's just what it is. And at the time, just like the other brother was talking about, that when we was growing up, it's one of those things where no, you got to go. You got to go. And there was some times where I remember when daddy done worked hard all week. Every other Sunday he might be up in there, but at the same time, mom got us all there. But what is happening now is just that the family has gotten so broken up.
Yeah.
So the moms are raising all these young men now and things like that, and there's no leadership and stuff like that. So the quickest thing to go is the thing that we got to devote least of our time to, as what people see. Like for instance, we can go to church for 2-3 hours a week, but they can say, well, shoot, I can take that 2-3 hours a week and just not show up, and it ain't gonna hurt nothing. But they don't understand that back in the time, the church was the cornerstone of the community.
Yes, sir.
It's where the gathering of men went.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody needed help, some help with growing crops or building a house or doing addition on to all the men, they gathered there.
Mm-hmm.
They gathered there. If there was a problem with law enforcement or somebody stealing in the neighborhood or whatever, all the men, they gathered there and said, okay, let's see how we're gonna figure this out. They didn't have to always. We took care of ourselves more, and we've gotten so far away from that. We've broken up the family so much, and we've made it, and TV and everything made it look so good that we can run around and have all these babies and not care that they're here and all that kind of stuff. I think that we've made it look so good and so cool to the point where it just became part of the norm.
Wow.
Telling somebody the other day is just that I'm just one of those people that I watch little subtle things. I don't watch a whole bunch of TV. I read a lot. I'm a very avid reader. And so are my children. My children, they read a ton too. But when you're watching reality shows, let's say for instance, you're watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Real Housewives of Atlanta, the whole cast is black women.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, most of them are unmarried, but they're housewives of Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, everywhere they go, when they show them on TV, everywhere they go, there has to be some drama, a fuss, or fight, or something to that effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the same network that pays those women Real Housewives of Atlanta paid Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with a different skin complexion, things like that. Live in Beverly Hills. You don't see them fussing and fighting and tearing up everything, and they're talking about starting another business or something like that. But the same network, that's paying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, they portray and run group of people, and when I look at things like that, I'm like, man, Black people, we don't act up everywhere we go.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Our women aren't showing their tail in their bosom. They're not doing that. Our Black women aren't doing that everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere they go, they're not fighting and fussing and stuff like that. They don't do that. But they're making it so that this is giving the whole world a perception of what we are.
Good
and that's
deal.
not what we are.
Exactly. Stay right there, brother. We got a lot of people. I want to make sure I touch everybody. We got quite a few people that's on the phone lines, and the phone lines are open. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Let me go to Cornelius. Cornelius, good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. How are you, sir?
Hey,
doing
good. Cornelius, we having a conversation. We're talking about, we are Four Square conversation. And our topic we're talking about right now is the church is 80, 85, sometimes 90% women. So I'm asking the question, what is keeping most men? What do you think, Cornelius, is keeping most men out of the church?
Well, this subject is close to my heart, man, because I've been in ministry at the church I belong to now 12 and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rare when you can get people that's been part of the ministry for that long. And I've seen them come, I've seen them go. And I'm a new membership teacher. And people that come in through the church, I teach a new membership class. I try to learn about them, try to find out their likes and dislikes, and all these different things. We discuss things and so on and so forth. But what I found out is they start off good. And then as time passes, no more than a couple months or whatever the case may be, circumstances come up.
Mm-hmm.
You may want to get you a job. You have to get your job to make extra money. Man, get out here and there, and all of a sudden it takes them away from the church. They're focused on making more money than they is coming to church. Then when they work all week long, they're too tired to even want to come up and coming to church on a Sunday morning at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay for me to miss this Sunday. I'm good. And so on and so forth. I've literally had people tell me, like the brother had said earlier, I've had one guy tell me, I ain't coming to no church when football season starts. Okay.
Wow.
And he's a good dude, was a nice guy. One of the nicest guys you can meet. And his wife became a minister of our church.
Mm-hmm.
And we were very busy. She was serving in the ministry, teaching Wednesday night Bible study, teaching Sunday school, all these different things, serving, going out evangelizing with us. And he said to her, "You're doing too much," and took her out. Took her out the church.
Wow. And
she was a licensed minister. And he was like, "No, I'm not coming." We got women. I got so many different women at our church that where they're married, they come to church faithfully, serving God, but their husbands ain't coming nowhere near the doors.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these different things, and we try to show brotherhood. We try to show love to the gentleman. We try to give them the respect they deserve. Even Bishop, he would literally say, tell the woman, whatever woman decides to, because what happens sometimes, we go through situations that the woman will start visiting first and then bring their husband.
Mm-hmm.
So Bishop would literally tell her, "Hey, bring your husband. Let me meet him so he'll know what type of guy I am. Let me get the chance to meet him." And we'll go through all this stuff, giving these men their due respect, and sure enough, they still can't maintain. So I got to thinking. I said, why is this? I come up with a couple of reasons. One of it is accountability. A lot of brothers don't want to be held accountable. Another one is commitment. A lot of brothers have a hard time committing to something that we only commit to what we're interested in. We're only going to do what we want to do. We're only going to do what we really are committed to what we're doing, whether it's that job, whether it's that football game, whatever that situation is, and just having in our finite mind that God is happy with this. So a lot of the brothers struggle with commitment and accountability. And we teach as a man of God that has come from the hood, the projects of the city of Detroit, from a person that used to slang dope, sleep with all these different women. When I realize I come into the body of Christ and I get saved and be filled with the Holy Ghost, one of the biggest things is God talks holiness. He wants holiness out of his people, especially us as men. Because if a woman see a man committed, if you find a woman that's committed to God, see a man that's committed to God's man, that woman gets excited about these things. And those are the things that and I'm sorry for being long-winded, but this is passion of mine right here. That's the thing that I've seen over the years, commitment and accountability. And a lot of brothers have a hard time walking into the level of holiness in what God is looking for. And that's just my observation and what I've seen through ministry over the years.
Good deal. And there's so many different layers. Now, y'all know this is Four Square Conversation. We're gonna stay with this square just a little bit longer because I hadn't had the opportunity to get to everybody. And everybody, you give me your 3 minute, your 2 to 3 minute version of what you think, so we can actually keep this thing moving. Who am I gonna go to next? Rico over there eating, boy. I ain't want to disturb that brother, eating real good over there.
I was.
Yes, sir. What do you think it is, Rico? Why do you think most churches are 80 to 90% women? What is keeping most men out of the church?
Man, we live in a society now where there's so many distractions and so many recreational things that we could do to make us feel good, that's fun, that most people, they tend to want to spend more time doing those hobbies, on top of the fact that the rat race is so much high demand for you to work and try to make some money that people are more now, they're wanting their weekends more to themselves. So then you have to ask yourself, we saw men in the past that stayed in the church, but they did a lot of low down things, you know what I'm saying? And so now you see men as being more of them true selves. So it makes you wonder if most people are actually sincere. Because Cornelius said a big word, committed. You know what I'm saying? You're really committed, you're really sincere. You know what I'm saying? You could put tailgating and fishing and NFL Sunday to the side. But most people ain't going to do that. Most people are going to want to work on their car. They're going to want to go fishing because the fish biting today. Or they're going to want to catch NFL Sunday. Tailgate, all those different things. You know what I'm saying? All the different things that man has, the different vices that man has that makes him feel good. So you asked a question this morning about choosing God over money. Some people gonna choose that work come calling, you know what I'm saying? And some of it is because it's a survival thing, and then some of it is because they don't want to let no money get by them. So they'll stay up in that thing 7 days a week if they can. And so human beings tend and always have tended to put God in their back pocket when it's something else that they want to do, you know what I'm saying, and put him second. Me, I don't see how they can do that. I feel like if I was going to dedicate myself to church or dedicate myself to God like that, then I would be sincere enough to know that I'm going to be committed and show up every Sunday. Why play? That's a situation where you just can't up and say, well, you know what, I'm God-fearing and I believe in God and I'm saved, but I put them in my back pocket or put them to the side for this situation. But many people do that.
And what you said, I'm gonna piggyback on what you just said, man. We got a few other people I want to touch with this topic as well. It's 8:30 right now, so we're gonna continue this particular topic. A lot of times looking at it as a vehicle, and we love our cars and stuff like that, man. We use God a lot of times as a spare tire. Only time we need him is when there's a flat. When something goes bad in our lives, we need that spare tire. You know, we ain't gonna worry about that spare. Ain't gonna think twice about that spare tire until one of the main tires go down, and now we're looking for the spare tire. We gotta have the spare tire now. Now we need it. Joseph, good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Doing wonderful, man. You hit the nail on the head with that spare tire, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Yeah. What is keeping most men out of the church?
Well, I think there's several things. There's been an attack on the black family. Some may not want to admit it, but the strength of the black community is the black family. You know, we had a Dr. Martin Luther King, but his father and his mother were together.
Mm-hmm.
They raised him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had a Malcolm X, but his mother and father were together. They produced that. The strength of the black community is the black family.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, our faith in God was another strength for the black community, and the government knows this. The system knows this. When crack cocaine came through in the 80s, it ripped up families. I mean, it touched even Marion Barry in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
It touched high people. It messed up families. It messed up churches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had a dude so bad on the keyboards, man. He was married to this young lady, and he had about 3 beautiful children. And he and his wife was same age as me and my wife and my child. And I mean, that church was strong over on Campbellton Road here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, when that crack cocaine hit him, man, that brother went down so fast, man, I could not believe it.
Wow.
I could not believe what I was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't just him. It was several people in the church.
Yeah.
So I think the black family has been under attack, and I think the church as an institution has been under attack too. I think the faith-based initiative was another blow to one of the strongest institutions in the black community, the church.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of our brothers have gotten sidetracked and don't realize the connection between that. I mean, we were progressing. When you look at Black Wall Street, you see strong black families. That's who built Black Wall Street. That's who built Sweet Orphan Avenue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but a lot of us have gotten tracked on that. We don't. We especially the younger brothers. They don't understand that connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But I still believe in the church. I believe in the power of the church, and I believe that God watches over the church. I believe that is a place of refuge for the black community. I really do believe that.
Good deal. And it is. And it very well should be. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what do you think? Why do you think most men, what is keeping most men out of the church? What do you say to that?
An unfortunate
Good evening, Badger. How you doing?
Another beautiful and blessed day. Thanks for having me this evening.
Yes, sir.
It's
Excuse me.
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I made a comment on Twitch while I was listening about ego, and I honestly feel that unfortunately in our society there has been so much toxic masculinity across the board that a lot of males have forgotten what church is.
Mm.
Church isn't just a building.
Yeah.
A church is being thankful and giving praise, sitting at the table with your family, leading prayer, giving thanks. And that's an across the board thing. I hearing what y'all are, and I'm looking at the communities that I've been around and the changes that I've seen. It's, between certain Native communities and then, being around the white communities and things like that. It's no different.
Mm.
The only time I see a whole bunch of like white males in a church, unfortunately, is when they all share the same belief. And a lot of times it's toxic.
Mm.
It's ones that I wouldn't even
When you say the same belief, or do you mean spiritually same belief or lifestyle same beliefs?
lifestyle.
Okay.
Those of us that don't vibe with that stuff, we don't really go into those buildings. We hold church, with other people.
Yeah.
Our church is out on the front porch, talking and giving honor, giving praise. Matter of fact, the other evening, there's this young gent that walks through and stuff like that, and he was looking down, struggling, trying to find a job and everything. And not sure what his, if we want to say, put a race label on it. To me, he's just a hardworking young man, and he was having a hard time, couldn't find a job anywhere around here. And he finally got blessed because I told him just keep his head up, keep on pushing. Spirit's going to provide, always does. Don't ever give up. And he actually went out of his way, come knocking on my door at like 10 o'clock at night. Thankfully I ain't went to bed yet. And he wanted to tell me that he found a job.
That's good.
And I'm bringing that up because I could care less if a person religiously goes to church every single Sunday. But if they're not walking it in their community, they're just a big old bag of hot air.
Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. And let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? What do you think, Toussaint? 80-90% women in the church. What is keeping men out of the church, Toussaint? What do you say to that?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, you got to believe that there is a God. If you don't believe him, the rest don't matter. It don't make no difference whether you have church at your house, or you have it under the tree, or you go to the building. You got to believe God. You got to believe that he is, and then you got to have faith in him. See, we talked about this morning. We got more faith in a dollar than we do the creator. That's just it. And here we have this pride. Men don't like foolishness. I don't deal with foolishness. There's a lot of foolishness in our churches. Let's just be real. I mean, we can come up with everything that you want to say, every excuse, but men don't do drama.
Yeah, come on.
And then you can't cause my wife to have more respect for you than she does me. I'd be like, man, you better get him out of here. We put ourselves, I'm talking about leadership.
Yeah.
Put ourselves on this pedestal like we God. It ain't gonna do that. No, sir. No.
Ain't gonna happen. Yes, sir.
So there's a few things. First of all, you got to realize that if there's God, first of all, then you got to have faith in him. You got to have trust in him. You got to have a relationship with him. If you don't have a relationship with him, you can go to church and then just all you're doing is just going through the church to hell. But then another thing about it is men have this,
macho.
I'm a man.
It's not
Yeah.
necessarily, you don't have to be, it's not necessarily even macho.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to bow down to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't have a problem bowing down to God.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to belittle me and say, you know, let me wipe your face and while you sweating. Man, I wish I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't doing none of that. There's a lot of that's foolishness to me. Now, if there's some, excuse me, if I said it, that you're a face washer, or you got somebody washing your face, wiping your face. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But if I sweat, I wipe my own face.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's one more thing right here. You got to be part of, like Badger said, you got to be part of the community. If the church is not known by its community, it's not a church at all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You run your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
If you're not servants, you're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'm just go ahead and throw that out there like that. Now I can go on and on, but I think I done said my 3 minutes worth of.
There you go. Let's keep this thing going. Let's keep this thing going. And this is a great topic, man. That's why we extended it, because I know there's a lot of different layers on this, and we can't get to all of them in 30 minutes. So I wanted to make sure that I continue the topic itself. Captain, good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, good evening, and peace to my brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Cap, asking a question. Most churches are 80, 90% women. The population is mainly women. What is it, Cap, that you think is keeping most men out of the church?
Well, you know, Brother Raheem, the scripture says, if the salt lose its savory, what good is it but to be trampled underfoot? The church, in my humble opinion, has lost its salary. It's not attractive to men because you can't bring men, and I want to say this, I like what Badger said, because that ain't the case in the Nation of Islam, all right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have more women, we got more men than women in the nation. That ain't the case among the Jewish community in the synagogue, and you can't say that's the case among white churches. So if we're going to just identify it with us, particularly, I can tell you with any uncertainty in the Nation of Islam, and Brother Joseph knows this, we taught that Christianity was the white man's religion. We taught that. Malcolm taught it.
Mm-hmm.
We taught that Christianity was a slave religion. We taught that. Why did we teach that? Why was it effective? How can you make a black man go to a church where you got a white Jesus? You just recently took the white Jesus off the wall maybe 20 years ago, maybe 30 at max. This is the only institution. Martin Luther King, may God be pleased with him, he understood that the church has no salary if the church is not an activist for the injustice of the people. So Martin was the last and the preachers, in my humble opinion, that made the church a reality, because he attached the struggle of black people's injustice with the very struggle of Christ himself. And he drew men. Martin had men, because men can't be a part of nothing. You can't tell me about God and I don't know who I am. We're the only people, you want us to know God, but you don't want me to know who I am. No, self is to know God. Most of the brothers that go to the church, they don't know who they are. So you hide behind a complacent religion that you don't do nothing. But if you want to be able to say, well, we want to change, God, let God do it, I believe it. That's easy. But to get your behind in the street and change the reality with all the churches we got in the black community, you brag about Christianity? How come our community's in the condition it is when we got churches on every corner? How dare you brag about Christianity? Jesus ain't got nothing to do with that. And you can't get no real man to capitulate to something that takes away his manhood. He has to be a man. So when Martin was marching, he had
time, I am a man. You can't. So I'm not attacking Christ. I'm not attacking Jesus. I'm attacking Christianity that was established and used Jesus as a name, as the righteous name of Jesus, to shield somebody's dirty intention to enslave a people in the name of Jesus. I'm not attacking Jesus. I'm not attacking Christ. I'm attacking the vehicle by which they introduced Christ to us. Y'all know the history. Don't act like you don't know the history. The Crusades. You know the history. But if you don't know the history, then you condemn the repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't make black men today. We've managed to draw over 1.2 million men are Muslim. 98% was Christian men. Why? Because the nature of men is activism. You can't tell me, man, I believe in God and I ain't got the power to change the reality. What kind of God do I believe in? The sister can say, I believe in Jesus, but he ain't got the power to go home and straighten that black man up. Why are we successful in the nation of Islam with the brothers? How come the nation of Islam has been more successful in reforming black men from prison? We reformed Malcolm. We reformed Elijah. We reformed Muhammad Ali. We reformed the man. What is it? We're not knocking Chris. We're not knocking Jesus. Don't get me wrong, man. Don't come on here and talk about what. I'm not knocking Jesus. I'm not knocking Christ. But Jesus and Christ had nothing to do with Christianity. You take it or let it alone. And you'll never get man to belong to something that has nothing to do with himself. If he can't see himself on that cross, it don't exist. If you can't tell me God is black, it don't exist. Chinese got a Chinese God. Japanese got a Japanese God. White folks got a white God. We got a white God. Something's wrong with that picture.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Man, that's my 2 cents.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We love to have your input. Stanley, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay. What's on your heart?
Well, and I want to, I'm not sure if y'all even realize in Georgia over the last 6 years, and I tell people, you know, I'm AME and biggest and the best denomination. We just serve God and do what we can. You know, we have a bishop here that came here out of New Jersey, and has helped change some things here in the state of Georgia. You know, his help. The state of Georgia has, you know, sent 2 Democratic senators to Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've during the pandemic feed, I would say close to 100,000 people. You know, with the produce, about I think it's 1.3 gallons of milk. You know, we've developed a team throughout the state of Georgia. So it's a lot of things, and I told stay inside those 4 walls and call yourself ministering to the people. We've been trying to do over the last 6.5 years. We've done community stuff. We've become ecumenical. CME Church, the United Methodist Church, the AME Zion. All of us have to work together. That's the only way we're going to change our community. You know, one church can't do it, but you know, we have got to work together. They created last year called Faith Works. We have over 1 churches in the state of Georgia that have been helping with the administration, helping with the vaccine and stuff like that. So it's a lot that a lot of people are not aware of to help change the city. You know, I was on some phone calls today where we got some other stuff going on. As definitely, Raheem, I definitely need to get that brother's name and information down, and I need to get him hooked up with the, you know, the Black Church Food Security Network.
Mm-hmm.
There's a food shortage coming, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not growing vegetables and raising a couple of animals or something, you know, because when you go in the grocery stores, if you look, the shelves are not full like they used to be. You know, years ago, you go in there and get what you want. you know. But now, if you look at it's not as full as it used to be. The National Black Church Food Security Training grants to people into churches that will start gardening. You know, we can help the elderly, we can help the low income. So it's a lot of things that are going that, you know, a lot of people are not aware of, that we have to get outside those walls. It's not just inside the wall. Ministry is helping the community, people in need, trying to do. Yeah, that's what we got to do, man. You can't, you know, you can go inside those four walls and go about your business, but what are you doing the rest of the time between Sunday to Sunday? You know what I'm saying? So it's up to us as Black men to take charge and try to make some things happen, and that's what we're doing. And when you come and show you a whole lot of stuff, and you know, let you view a lot of stuff that has been going on, and overnight success type thing. But you have to just be consistent, and we can make some changes.
Absolutely. EJ, talk to me, brother.
I'm right here. Yeah. Hear me okay?
Yes. Yeah, you good to go. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of good points of discussion here. Points of the discussion. I think that it boils down to a few things. A lot of times when it's leadership, the family element, and you know, just you know, how we've just gotten so far away from, you know, the whole family element. And because I think that, and this is just me, I think everybody wants peace and harmony. And for peace and harmony to prevail, you got to have some sense of order. And I think the leadership in the family brings that about, that order. Because when I think about it, like, you want to have peace and harmony in your household, you know? So you have, so the man of the house usually, or the head of the house usually establishes some type of order through rules and regulations that you must follow and things like that. And so I think that we've gotten so far away from that, and we've made it such the norm that the family must be broken up for some reason. It's just a normal thing. And I think that we should get back to building our communities, building our families, building up on all these things.
Absolutely. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, I agree. I think that family structure is big. You know, I bring up that nuclear family all the time. You know, you have that's one of the factors, you know, is the fact that the family is divided like that, and you don't have that male leadership. And most of the time, you know, if you do have solid, stable male leadership, they'll have some type of religion behind them, whether it's Nation of Islam or Christianity Church or whatever. I mean, you know, you'll see that balance. And that's what you realize. You have a society that's a lot of unbalance going on, way out of balance, way out of order. And so not only in the families, but let's go back to the church leadership. Got a lot of inconsistency, a lot of hypocrisy. You know, it's really hard for a man in this day and age to go and follow a person that they know is not on the up and up, or not walking the walk, not sincere, opportunistic. You know, I give you the prime example. You know, you got some pastors down here that's pretty much they get into that prosperity and image thing, where they want to try to have mega churches. That's the thing now, to try to build this mega church and have this social following. And you know, they sort of living this life that you see with the reality preachers. You start to see that coming along now. And in the process, you know, we had a situation here go on here where there was a guy got killed in his yard, and it actually, to me, was a hate crime. You know, at the time it happened, it definitely raised eyebrows and made a lot of noise. And you didn't see a lot of people come out and speak about it the way that they should. But then just as soon as George Floyd happened, you see certain preachers taking advantage of the opportunity to build their momentum and seize the moment and start being the face. And now here it is. Out of all this time, we've been trying to have rallies for black families and black justice, and you ain't been showing up. You just been having big shows and bringing big singers in and trying to have events, this event, that event, this group coming. But now when you see this momentum picking up, and they acting up in Birmingham, they acting up in Georgia, I think we need to have a heart-to-heart conference too. So now all of a sudden you want to speak about black issues. So you see a lot of opportunistic pastors, you know what I'm saying? And they driving very nice vehicles. And they actually dressing in very nice clothes. I mean, if you just see them out and about, you wouldn't be able to tell they were pastors, because it used to be a point in time that pastors dressed a certain way, and you could pretty much look at them and tell. They might have had on a suit on Thursday, just out in public paying bills. But you don't see that anymore. You know what I'm saying? You see a more hip pastor. And people, I'm telling you, men feel uncomfortable with that. A pastor that allows some of the funny business that's going on up in church right now. And some of the good looking women that's coming in church now wearing some outfits that the pastors ain't telling them, hey, you shouldn't wear that. It make it hard on us men to concentrate, because they looking just as good as they look in the club. So it's like the atmosphere is just out of whack. And if you got some type of conscience for yourself as a man, you don't feel right going into a situation that ain't right.
Wow. Cornelius, what can we do? What do we need to do? And we might stay on this topic here the whole 2 hours, brother. We might not. I got 3 other topics here, but we might not make it to those. Cornelius, what do we need to do to bring more men into the church where he's comfortable and he want to be a part of the church, and he want to do the things that's gonna make it better, and he want to go out there in the community and spread that word and help each other?
Before I'm kind of echoing right now.
Oh, okay. I get
so,
go ahead.
Okay. I got a lot on my heart, man, I want to say. And I'm trying, I don't want to be long, because I want to give respect to everyone that's on this line. But this is a real heavy topic to me. And it hits home very hard. Because I've been serving God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for a long time now. And I'm going to start off, and I'm going to answer your question. I want to start off with this. Raheem, don't you think, I know these brothers is on, they listening, but you and I talking right now. I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
Don't you believe a lot of the issues in men is pride?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Now watch this. Coming from where I've come from, I lost my mother, my father. I was pretty much homeless, man. The Bible tells me I'm overcoming by the blood of the Lamb and the words of my testimony. When you give your testimony to people, and every time I come on this line, I be trying just to talk in general, but sometimes I'm led to give my testimony.
Yes.
I'm led to be transparent. And this is where I'm going right now. This is what makes me believe. This stuff here, walking in the walk as a Christian and as a believer of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I ain't come up with this no figment of my imagination. I know who God is in my life because I know where I've come from. The Bible tells me I overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of my testimony. That's in Revelations. So coming from where I've come from the death of my mother, the death of my father in my early 20s, I didn't know where I was going as a young man. I was lost. And I'm searching, trying to find out which way should I go. I mean, I'm sleeping with different women. I'm going through all this stuff, having babies out of wedlock, and I'm getting abortions because I couldn't afford to do this. I couldn't afford taking a child. Then I finally have a child at the age of 24 years old. My son now is 28. All this stuff I've done over my life. But when I got saved, I knew without a shadow of a doubt I got saved. How do I know this? I remember running. Didn't want to deal with nobody. I hated men. I hated dealing with men. I didn't even want to deal with the church. I didn't want to deal with nobody. All I want to do is screw women and mind my business, make my money and keep it stepping and bold. Because that was my thing. That was my God at the time. But I never will forget this, man. I was in Detroit at the when they was building the casinos there. And I'm sitting there. A brother kept saying, "Won't you go to church with me? Come to a men's meeting." I was like, "Man, I ain't trying to hear all that. I ain't trying to go to no church. Now I'm a man. I ain't trying to see nobody about no Jesus, no nothing. I ain't trying to know nothing about nothing. I don't care. I'm minding my business." The brother kept coming. And God is my witness, Raheem. I was sitting in the security guard booth. A person walked by in one of those construction outfits. He stopped, looked at me dead in my face, and said, "It's time to get saved," and walked away. My man came later on that night. He said, "Man, won't you go to this men's meeting with me?" I said, "Okay, man, I'll go." I sat back in the cut. I'm looking at all these preachers, these brothers in the body of Christ, and I'm looking at them, rolling my eyes like, "These phony, fake." So this was going through my mind. The pastor of that church, God rest his soul, he passed on now. He said, "Sit up here with us, man." One of the brothers kind of nuts said, "Man, come on up here and sit with me." So I'm sitting next to him. The pastor got to talking, and he said to me, "What's on your heart?" I opened up. He told me, "This night may not be for nobody else. This night is for you." Them brothers, it was 7 or 8 of them, surround me and pray for me. And brother, man of God, as my witness, I fell to my knees.
Yes.
And bawled out crying.
Yes.
And I felt the weight of the world lifted off of me. And I ain't looked back since. I was suicidal, jacked up, tore up from the floor up. And now, from that time, the Bible tells us I've given some pastors, some teachers, some prophets for the edifying and equipping of the church. What does that mean? To teach and to train. I began to read that, learning from these pastors. The pastor that I'm under right now, before I got my wife, and it's my last testimony, I'm asking God, who is my wife? Who I'm going to be with? I'm liking different women. God say, that's not the one. Now, those that have a relationship with God and not religious, they hear the voice of God. He'll talk to you because he said, "I'll never leave." He'll say, "I'll never leave you nor forsake you." And he said he shared his secrets with his servants. I hear the voice of God. And when he talks to me, I obey. And he said to me, when that night I got on my knees, I went on a little date with this woman. I reached out to her. He spoke to me and showed me in the sanctuary that go out and pick this young lady. I felt compelled to go out with this woman. So I'm going a little fast. I'm trying to end it. Felt compelled to go out with this woman. Go out with her. I get down on my knees that night. I said, "God, if this is the one, fill it." The very next morning, Sunday morning, she didn't come to church. Bishop was preaching. He pointed at me and said, "Your wife is now." Now, you cannot tell me. You can't tell me. That was a figment. Nobody was in that room but me and God. You can't tell me that the preacher, he wasn't there. I know God spoke that to me. So that tells me right then and that's how you try to tell people in this world today. I ain't making up no faking. I ain't phony about this. I'm real about my walk. I know who God is in my life. I've come from the guttermost to the uttermost. He has built me up. He has put me in a decent paying job where I was broke, busted, and disgusted to when I have a wife, 2 cars, finances. I'm a man now. And that's how you tell brothers to seek God for their life. And that's how you build your relationship. I ain't religious. I ain't looking for nothing like that. I am sold out for the body of Christ, and I'm trying to help brothers understand who God can be in their life. And that's just my perspective because I know what I'm talking about. Sorry about it.
Good deal, brother. Good deal. Toussaint, come on, brother. It's on you.
Well, see, one thing about it is we all have our own relationship. You know what I said?
Yes,
relationship. Mine's not yours. And
Wow.
I
Wow.
hear a lot, and I think about contending for the faith. See, I don't have to build nothing up to be me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to build my relationship with God. I just have it. I walk in my skin, my flesh. I got my journey. Along the way, if I see somebody that, see, I can't convince everybody. And let me say this, and I don't jump ship.
Mm-hmm.
Ship. You hear what I'm saying? There's some people, they're Baptist one day, then they're Catholic the next day, they're Presbyterian, then they're Muslim, then they're Israelite, then they're something else, then they're something else, then there's something else, searching for a void that only God can fill. I may carry the title Christian, but I'm not your type of Christian. I'm mine. That's my relationship. I don't even make a fuss about the title. I make a fuss about him because he's the one that keeps me.
Yes, sir.
I can have the same type of relationship that I have with God and never step into church another day in my life because it's not about the four walls. It's about when, for instance, when Rico takes his walk every morning, that's his sanctuary. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. I just said that because Rico, in my opinion, is a perfect example of righteousness. Just me. That's just my opinion. He says, "Let your light shine."
Yeah.
If the salt don't have the season wherewith it is salt, you're the light of the world. Who hides a light under a bushel? Who you are in relationship to your creator, whatever you want to call yourself, is going to show. It'll show up and you can't hide it. You can't dress it up. See, I wear what I want to wear. I go where I want to wear. I do what I want to do. And it does not dictate me because the word is in here. And when it needs to come out, it'll come out. I don't try to perform to make you feel better about me. I don't care how you feel about me. It don't make no difference. Because when it all said and done, I came here naked. I'm going to leave here naked. He don't have to do anything for me. There's some things that I've done that I don't deserve anything else. But he keep on. That's why I keep him, because he keep me.
Yeah.
I look at the things that goes on that has happened in my life. He's, when they say he brings us through the valley and the shadow of death, been there, done that. Through the muck and the miry clay. Sure did. But I'm still here.
Yes,
and so when you asked the first question, and my statement is still the same, some people just don't believe that there's a God in the first place. Jay, it ain't about, you can go where you want to go. I mean, when the church first started, they started in the house. You got one in yours? We make a big thing and we try to put God in a box. Ain't no box, not your box or not mine. So it is what it is. I mean, hey, well.
Good deal. Good deal. We're gonna keep this thing going. Like I said, we're gonna stay right here where we are. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, sir? EJ, I see you over there. Mr. Hicks, you there? There you go.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, sir.
Well, sort of speechless, I guess. But I was thinking back earlier about that question, why women? I think we're still in that.
Yes.
Why men?
What keep most men out of the church? What keep most men out of the church? Yes, sir.
I think women are pretty much more spiritual just by their nature. The fact that they bear children and they go through all of that and that connection with sort of nature, the mental cycle and all that. I think the church has lost. Well, I know. Church has lost any kind of dynamics it had. I remember in the 60s when in the nation, when our talking points was about getting some heaven right here on earth, rather waiting for it to get in the sky, and that it was going against the popular kind of thing that was sort of the culture of poverty, blessed are the meek and the poor shall, and all that kind of stuff. So Reverend Ike and the whole prosperity movement with Creflo Dollar and all the rest of them guys, they had a dynamic now because their focus now was on that part of it, about getting the best of the prosperity, financial prosperity, by sowing money, sowing the seed to whatever you want, sowing the seed to get that. But I think that most men, they see that as a con. I mean, you see that as gain, and then if you study the scripture, you know that that's not exactly how the tithe was organized. Was structured from the very beginning, going back to the Israelites. So you see the shift and change in things. So I guess when I was listening to Brother talk about his experience, and I think I talked about mine before.
Yes.
When I had that break, it was emotional. And I just, all my life, like I said, my mother being an evangelist with Arthur O. Skinner and Shamrock and back in them guys there, those church days, just being there. All these times that I would go to these churches, these preachers would look out and they always ask me to come up there. I would never come. And then a number of times the preacher would say to my mom, don't make him come. Don't make him, but he don't want to come. Don't force him, right? In 1995, I was at this church service, my uncle's church. He's died now. He's a bishop. And I was at that church simply because it tied into my history. Because I remember him telling me when I was little that my mother had me tied up with towels, with sheets in his church, and I was bouncing around, right? He's telling that story. So I would always feel comfortable going to that church. It's a church my mother helped him establish way back there in the 30s or something. So this one particular time, the preacher called me up. He looked out in the audience and he said, come up here. And for the first time in my life, I went up there. It's a trip. And when I was walking up there, I felt all strange inside of myself. It was almost like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And my wife was there, my cousins and all that stuff. And everybody sort of all, I was like the devil's advocate. And in the whole of the church, anytime somebody said they got saved, I was going to be the tester. I would walk around I would test them to see if they saved. Really, honestly, I did. And my cousin Bertha, she's a year older than me. She had gotten saved, and she called and said she's saved, and me and her both was a test, and I just didn't believe it. But when this guy called me, I walked up to him, and he reached down and touched me, and I fainted. I didn't know I fainted. I just know when I came to my senses, I was on my knees, and my cousin Bertha was in front of me. She was crying, and I was crying, and it was so to me, I was delivered. Everybody who knew me knew it. I was to change, but I act different. I was a different vibe. I mean, I was really different. I was walking on cloud 9. But my mother's in New Jersey. She heard about this transaction. Finally, your oldest son, the one that you always pray, he got saved. She sold her house in New Jersey, moved down south, bought another house with this whole plan of ministry. As much as Creflo you can, and all that. But it was they were trying to fit my spirituality into a bottle, and I tried, but I just couldn't swallow it. Because the same conflicting questions I had about the scriptures and the Bible was still there. I still had the same kind of confusion about the God of the Old Testament in contrast to the God that Jesus present. I still had all my questions was still, they weren't answered. I just didn't have this weight of my sin and the things I'd done in the war and in life. I was relieved for that. And so I'm a searcher now, still searching. And I don't find the answers in the church because I don't think they go deep enough for me. They don't how can that? To answer these questions.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, anybody who know the Bible and study, you get to know it. He who has will get more, and him who have not, what he have going to be taken from him. And you know, but I understand it now. I'm saying I didn't then because I've asked the question. It says action is given to you. I found in terms of this spiritual was if you ask sincerely for your heart, you get the answer. It'll get through somebody else saying something, a movie you watch, or some kind of way, click, you say, oh, that's the answer. But it's not something you can express to somebody else, but it gives you that piece of answering that question. So I continue to ask questions. And the thing I know about the truth of the spirituality, because every question I ask, I get an answer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. We're gonna keep this thing going, man. We got a few more minutes. Oh, we're actually a little over 30 minutes before we get out of here. Let me go right now. To Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? You over there making them funny comments about 4x4 and 12x12.
I meant no disrespect, Mr. Hicks. That came across my mind. I'm like, he got hit by a holy 4x4. Because that's sometimes what we need.
Mm-hmm.
We can be on such an interesting road or in this mindset that it could sometimes that's what we need. For me, it was a lightning strike.
Mm.
And I was mad because I survived.
Mm.
And then he did it again. Then he did it a third time.
Mm.
And I finally went, you know what? You suck. But you win.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that it's all right to let your anger out. It is all right to feel emotions as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if I'm angry and I'm frustrated with my house and all the things of life, I'm going to walk right out that door. I'm going to hold my hand up. I'm going to look up and I'm going to go, all right, and just let it out. Cuss words and all.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many times I've heard people.
When you said, rah, I thought you said, I'm trying to scare God. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
No, that don't work. I know what he does. I know how he gets my attention. I'm good. I don't need another one.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I've been proven. I know spirit exists. I don't need no more proof.
Mm-hmm. Good deal.
By the time I was 20, I already knew. I didn't need nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So I survived too much.
Exactly. Good deal.
And man, I've become so much of a hermit. Like the most I socialize is with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, spirit like grabbed me again. And talking about men and church and things like that. I took my Monday yesterday after the morning glow and stuff. I told you I'd take my kids to counseling and all that. And while I was sitting there was this older lady that comes up, right? And she had her grandson with her.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw tears in her eyes that she was holding back. She had this sadness, and I could just feel it. Empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And while her son was back there, my oldest son ended up striking a conversation, asking, because kids are kids, they're talking. And then after, they go back there to start their therapy, I was like, are you all right? I'm like, and we just kind of have a conversation about autism and stuff because her grandson's also autistic. Her son passed away in June.
Mm.
And she's having to raise her autistic grandson for the most part by herself.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 16 years ago, I had to bury a son because of SIDS. That's supposed to be a real, harmful thing, right? But here's the crazy part about how God works. how spirit works. What I had learned from that experience gave me the strength to be there for another human being in their time of need.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
all have our stories. We all have our experiences. We're called to different paths, as Donald was saying. Me and Donald's had many intelligent conversations on spirituality. You will never hear me, never, ever hear me call myself a Christian. That will never happen. Me and Donald's talked about this for hours. But I know who I talk to. I call him Great Spirit because in my eyes, the word God can be used as anything. And unfortunately, full circle, in our society, money is God. When you so many people think if you walk a righteous path, you're going to be poor, you're going to be broke, you're not going to have anything. That's a lie.
Exactly. Let me do this, Badger. I got to keep this thing moving. Let me go to Joseph. Joseph, talk to me, brother.
All right, man. It's some good stuff.
And Joseph say, all right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I like what Brother Cap said also, about other religions, how men are represented in good numbers in those institutions. And it's good that we can recognize that there's been a drop-off in men in the church. And Cap is right on a number of things. There's a number of reasons. Dr. King didn't look at Christianity the way some Christians do. He recognized the hypocrisy on the other side, especially when it doesn't line up with the Jesus of the book. And Dr. King called that out. Another thing I noticed in our churches, especially among religious leaders, they tend to try to put themselves up. And I think that has something to do with the years of society putting us down. In slavery, we were dehumanized. The black man was a target. He was lynched and haunted and beaten down and made to feel like nobody. And so, sometimes in our churches, I see pastors, they have to have somebody carry the Bible and, as one brother said, wipe the sweat off their forehead. And I could never get with that. I can never get with that. And I can never get with people standing up when the pastor comes in the church as if Jesus walked in. I can't get with that. But I understand the psychology. I understand that there are, even these titles that many pastors take on, they got to be bishop this or super bishop that, or, prophet this and all that. I think it's a carryover from Jim Crow and slavery. And I think that offends other black men, when, they want people to look up to them in that way.
Hey, Joseph.
Do
you know the history behind lifting one finger up before you leave out the church?
No.
Okay. Look that up. Look that up and we'll talk. But there's a history behind why a lot of times they put that one finger up like that to let you know, and it goes right back to what you were just talking about. But look it up. There's a history behind that. A lot of people don't know it. They just do it because that's what they see other people doing. It means there's a whole history behind that. A whole history.
But see, Jesus, we wiped the feet of his disciples. And he told him, you know, at first Peter was like, hey, you're not going to wash my feet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have somebody at your stature, your level, stooping down to wash my feet. And Jesus pretty much rebuked him and said, if I don't, you know, you don't have no part with me.
Yeah.
And he pretty much said that what you see me do, I want you to do it. In other words, humble yourself and be equal with your brothers and sisters. Don't exalt yourself above your people. Because when you do that, you're making yourself to be all of that. I mean, the truth be told, the way of the cross is bloody. Really, when you really accept discipleship, you're really saying that I'm ready to give my life for the truth. And the truth will take you into some dangerous territory.
Absolutely.
I mean, I believe in questioning things. I believe in challenging people. I don't care if it's the president of the United States. In fact, I had to get out of the Army because, you know, I had to challenge some things in there. And I know I wasn't going to last another year in the military. Because the way of the cross is controversial. It's bloody. And Dr. King is a proof of that. You know, Medgar Evers and many others. You know, and that's how I see Christianity. I don't see it as no nice religion where I'm, you know, going to be served or where I'm going to be lifted up among the people. I don't see it like that. I see it as humility, walking in humility, embracing the truth, learning the truth because we don't know it all. You know, just because we experience some miraculous things in our lives. And I've seen the work of my own life personally. But I know that ain't the end of my learning. That's not the end of it. You know, Paul said, not that I have obtained it, but I'm present. You know, and some people think that they have arrived. We haven't arrived at what Christ really means.
Good deal.
And in a wicked society that we live in, you know, we're going to be challenged. And we have to be able to speak out against what we know is wrong. Not only for ourselves, but for our children, our family. We have to stand up against injustice. Just as Cap was saying, you got to stand up against injustice.
Now,
and there ain't no pretty religion there.
Now, preacher. We got some more. We got some more people here. Now, preacher.
All right.
We got some more folks on here, preacher.
All right.
Let me go to Stanley. Stanley, what's on your heart, brother? I know you got to get out of here. What's on your heart, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna give my testimony. This has been a great call, and I will listen to the brothers while I go talk about how the Lord, you know, I prayed. Got divorced back in the 90s and moved to Atlanta, and Atlanta was a little bit. I had all the women, you know, meet women at Walmart and you know, Publix. It's easy for a man. It's like they were falling off the apple tree, you know. But one Saturday, I asked the Lord to send me somebody, and that was back in 2000. I met my wife that I have now, and we've been together since 2000. We got married. So, you know, the Lord has been good to me, man. He's spared my life from near 18 times. You know, from almost drowning as a child. Fell off a third-story balcony in Germany. Over Korea, knocked over an embankment. I've had two silent heart attacks. A tree turned over on my tractor earlier this year. So spared me and kept me here for something. And that's why I run the way that I just mean as a ministry. And not just for the AME church, but for men, period, family.
Yes.
And that's what we have to do. You know, we have, and as I was saying earlier, you have to be committed and dedicated and make sacrifice. We're going to change the world and provide a productive members of for our families and communities, we have to sacrifice.
Yes.
Dedicated to what we're doing. You know, like I said, I'm in charge of a men's ministry 6.5 years, over 500 churches in Georgia. I know I haven't yet, but I know I've got at least 150 of them, and I've got 1.5 years to try to get some. You know, we have to be serious about what we do and be intentional. You know, we can't do it all, but we can do something. We can't reach everybody, but we can, you know, to take this thing forward, man. Like I said, this call and to meet you, bro. We known each other now less than 2 weeks. It has really blessed my soul to be able to connect with somebody that's really trying. A lot of folks talk about it, but then when you're about it, it makes a big difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To God be the glory, brother. To God be the glory.
Sir.
I'm gonna change the topic real quick, and we're gonna lighten it up a little bit. We got a little less than 30 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and Stanley, what I'm gonna do, I know you gotta go to Cornelius. Hold on, Cornelius, you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to get out of here.
Okay, hold. If you can, I know you're at work. If you can, hold. As a matter of fact, let me come to you first, and then I'll go back to Stanley. And Stanley, if you can hold on for a second or two, hold on for me as well, because I want to lighten this thing up a little bit. And I'm gonna ask y'all a question, man. I might be being a little silly here, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the question. Let me get myself together here. Okay, Cornelius. See, this ain't gonna work good with you, man. This ain't gonna go. You only listen to one kind of music. So I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you the question for back in the day. For back in the day. What was your favorite song back in the day? Not now, because you only listen to gospel music now. I know that about you. But what is that one song back in the day that was your favorite song to dance to? Yes.
Music.
Huh?
Mixed music, mixtapes. They used to have these mixtapes. They used to come out. Like it's a little song. I still is in the back of my mind. I'll bring it up. It says it'd be like elevator up and down, elevator up and down, little stuff like that. You know, little dance music, little dance mixtapes that they would put together. You know, yeah, that's the music I would dance to.
Okay, good deal. Stanley, what's that one song that if you come on, it's always been your favorite song to dance to?
Well, my favorite song of all time is "Fantastic Voyage." But
which one is that?
I don't care. Lakeside. Come along and ride on this fantastic.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, slide, glide, slip, slide.
Yes,
yes.
I told my wife when they rolling me out the church, putting me a song. That's my last voyage, right?
yeah.
So that's the song I want. But
slide,
the song
glide,
that make everybody move, man. This song, when flashlight come on, I don't care where I am, I got to cut a step. You might be a little too young, but that flashlight.
Oh man, I know that's that Parliament Funkadelic, brother. That's that Parliament Funkadelic. Come on now.
When flashlight come on, I
yes,
be
sir.
coming out the church, bro. Flashlight just do something to you, man.
So look here, you basically what you're saying, you coming out the church, you just delivered the word, man, and somebody ride by with that song and you might cut a step on them. Oh, well, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
It just does something. Parliament was something serious.
There you go. There you go.
I got to check on the go out for the night, man.
Hey, appreciate you,
go
brother.
to sleep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Man.
Yes. All right. Good deal. Good deal.
Have a blessed night, and make sure you hook me.
Say it again.
The guy that's down in Dublin with the farm.
Oh yeah, I got you. DJ right there beside. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I'll link you up. As a matter of fact, I'll link you up tomorrow at some point tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Good deal.
EJ. Blessed night.
All right, you too, sir. Appreciate you.
All right.
EJ, what is your favorite song to dance to of all time, man? EJ, what is that song when it come on? Man, I can't help it, man. Excuse me.
Man, it's a kind of a tough one, but believe it or not, it is Kool in the Gang. Get Down on It. It's my favorite one to dance to.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite one to kind of listen and just chill out and mellow out when I want to gather my thoughts is Commodore's Zoom.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Zoom. Yes, that's it. Watch this. Now ain't no telling. Look, brother, we don't.
Like to fly away.
And I like to fly away. And I like to fly away. Yes, sir. Tucson, come on, brother. I see you over there, Tucson. What is that one song, man? What is that one song? Give it to me.
Fire.
Don't.
When you walk and talk.
You didn't do that walk. You gotta go, girl.
Yes, you do. Oh Lord, boy, look at y'all got a whole playlist. Y'all got a whole.
Hey, look. If you know how they do it in churches, they put Jesus in there.
Yeah.
Wow. Watch it. Joseph, talk to me, brother. What's that one song?
We are one.
Oh Lord.
Frank Beverly Mays.
Frank, yes, sir.
Frank Beverly Mays.
See, y'all gonna get off the stand, man. Y'all gonna have a party tonight. Y'all gonna have a party. Rico, talk to me, brother. What is that one song that's gonna get you every time? I don't care when it come on, it's gonna get you.
Man, I gotta say two of them, man, because they went back. They had to make me go back and think about like Zoom. He said that about Zoom. That's my laid back one, but Brick House used to be my thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I used to love Brick House, and then as I got older, Perfect Beat by Africa Bambaataa. Man, every time I hear Perfect Beat, I be about to get me a hospital bill, man. I be about to break dance. I ain't lying. Every time that Perfect Beat come on, man, I get the pop lock, and I'm like, "Ooh, man, I'm about to get loose." I mean, man, I had to catch myself. Ooh. I mean, robot and everything. I'm like, man, I get down, I do that centipede, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Lord, boy, y'all are something else. Badger, what's your favorite song, bro? What is that one song for you?
So,
Well,
there is a song,
Mm-hmm.
especially if my wife is around. And it's called
Mm-hmm.
My Girl by the Temptations.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Outside of that, pretty much anything with drums.
Mm-hmm.
Indigenous drum music from just about anywhere in the world.
Okay.
It's the heart song. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if it's from Africa, Ireland, my Native American and brothers and sisters. Like, I don't care where it's from.
Mm-hmm.
That drum, you
Exactly.
get a good beat on that drum, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grabbing my kids and I'm like, all right, let's get it. Like,
It's funny you said that, Badger. My oldest son, he's just like that too. I mean, he
those
plays
earth drums.
He plays the drums and anything.
Yeah, man,
Mm-hmm.
those earth drums that just shakes the ground. Oh,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he got a drum in it, and he plays the drum set.
Yeah,
he's like that too.
those don't do it for me. Like drums from in a band, nothing. Drums that are in a marching band, nothing. You get one of those indigenous drums with like made the older ways.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to talk about heart and soul? Let's get it.
There you go. Mr. Hicks, you gotta come to you, brother. Gotta come to you. Talk to me. What's that one song, brother? That I see you, Tucson. There you go. Come on, Mr. Hicks.
I can't get one. I mean, I was trying to like, what is it? Which one? Girls all right with me. You know the girls all right.
He went old school on us, y'all. He went old school. Yes, sir.
I actually hold on. I am 36 and I know that song.
Oh, that's a proper one. That they etches in. But that Zoom, man, that Zoom. I was thinking about one time, me and my brother-in-law. I don't know what was going on, and we were sitting there. And we hit this moment. That music. The first time I heard it, and we both looked at each other. We like right here, because that was a feeling. I like to fly away. Zoom. So I think I'll put that on. We finish up here and do the rest of my night to Zoom.
Said I like to fly away. Said I like to fly away.
Go ahead.
All right. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Commodores had a sound in it, man. With them horns, man, and them drums, man. The Commodores had a sound, man.
That's in Tuskegee, and I was working down in Tuskegee, right? So I was meeting, I met all these people that knew them. I mean, that played with them and stuff. And I'm saying, get out of here. And then on top of that, I said, man, that's my song too. Zoom.
Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, man, that was one, man. Like I said, that was one that I always liked. One of my all-time favorites. I got Fantasy by Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I'm saying? I'm crazy about Fantasy. You know, it like I said, it pulls some of those songs pull some from the inside out of you. You just can't sit still. And that's one of them, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I could put it on repeat all day long, but that Brick House, man, I would cut the book when I was young, man. I mean, like, man, look, my dad them had a band, right? And they could cover music and sound exactly like the original band. They had the full set of singles and everything. And they'd travel around. And I was around that, the practices and the performances. And every now and then I'd be up on stage, man, and I'd be over there on the bongos. And then when they play that Brick House, man, I'd be right out front doing my little thing, man. The whole crowd just going crazy. I didn't kill. I was dancing because I was feeling that music, and they loved it because they saw that I felt it.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, that Perfect Beat, man, I mean, it takes everything in me to keep from trying to see if I still got a little bit in me. I mean, it's just something about that beat and that rhythm, man. It pulls something out of y'all know about the Perfect Beat.
The Perfect Beat.
Yeah, the Perfect Beat by the people that made Planet Rock, but Perfect Beat just a lot better than Planet Rock, man.
Yeah.
Jam on it. You know what I'm saying? Jam on it. Come on.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. One of mine is and this is not a hard song like that, man. It's real laid back, it's real chill, man. But it's something about this song. Every time I come on, I gotta do a little step, whatever I can do. I can't do a whole lot no more. But Michael Jackson, I'll Rock With You. Y'all don't know nothing about that though. Y'all don't know nothing about that, man. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
I was trying to think of the name earlier. I just said I couldn't think of the name of it. I was like, man, I'm about to look it up.
Yes,
man,
sir.
My back couldn't handle that song right now.
Oh, he got it up there.
Yeah, you got it up there. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Rock With You. Yeah, man, that song, man, I'm gonna tell you, every time that song come on, man, it's like how did Janet say? It's like a moth to the flame, burned by the fire. I gotta go to the floor, man, and I got to do my little. And that what's that bounce, rock, roll? What's that? Bounce, rock. I don't know who's singing that, man. Rock, roll, skate, bounce, rock and roll, skate. The skate song. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Come on, man. I thought y'all knew.
Hold on, Raheem. You can't
Yes,
get
sir.
up and dance when you can be on time in the morning.
Huh?
I said you can't get up and dance after the broadcast. Listen to that stuff. You ain't gonna get up on time.
Exactly. But it's quite a few, man. EJ, talk to me, brother.
Oh man, I'm right here. I'm enjoying the whole thing. I know we were talking about the Commodores with Zoom, Brick House. We forgot one.
Who that?
Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Show it I love you.
Like Sunday morning.
That's the one right there. That's what I was looking for. That one right there.
Yeah, come on now.
First time I heard that, I was walking around a B-52 on the sack base, right? I stuck it, I had me a little ear thing in my thing. The sergeant would ride by, he knew I had it. I always put it down when he ride by. And they played that thing in Georgia. They played it back to back to back. Oh, baby. I said, listen to this. Look, I said, look what these look. That was even now. If I hear that now, even that song is the one. Will go down in my history.
Exactly. Tucson, talk to me.
Top that, Tucson.
Yeah, top that one. Look, top that.
I've lived a single life.
Bingo,
Uh-oh.
singo.
The Commodores on us. The Commodores.
Boom, boom, boom.
Mhm.
Yeah. You didn't.
Wow.
You didn't.
Hey,
You
look,
didn't talk.
I went I had a 1973 Chevy Monte Carlo. I was in 11th grade, driving 95 miles an hour to go get a Cameo album
Good Lord.
and played Alligator Woman all the way back.
Lord. And that's the thing right there. That's the thing. See, Badger done sent me a song of this out. He know I ain't gonna play no song.
Dude, please play some of it. Just please.
No. We're good. We're actually gonna close out,
Yeah,
man.
but there is no movement without rhythm.
Have
Have any of y'all ever heard it?
Say it again.
There is no movement without rhythm.
Who's saying that?
Oh, you got to play it.
I got it.
Too late in the game. Too late in the game. Let me go. Rico, go ahead, brother.
I mean, what's going
Oh,
on?
I got that's big.
Who that?
That wasn't me.
No, that wasn't Badger. That wasn't Badger. Who was? That was somebody else. Oh, there were two songs. Oh no, somebody. It was somebody. But go ahead, Rico.
Yeah,
Talk.
man, that Michael Jackson y'all went to, man. I was trying to think of that song for the longest, man. I was like, man, I don't want to look that up, man. But that Michael Jackson really hit the spot, man.
Yeah, rock with you.
It's quite a few of them, man. You know, that just like I said, it just bring that energy out of you, man. It just, you know, everybody got to hit the floor at one time. Whenever you know you hear about that, oh.
Yes, sir.
When you hear that right there, man, you know, man, it's like a trample. You get trampled if you don't get to the floor on time, man.
Watch this.
Go ahead.
No, Tucson, come back on the screen, brother. I want to see your reaction to this right here. Tucson, where you at?
I think he's listening to what I sent.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wanted to see his reaction to this right here. Dancing. Ooh, doo, doo. She's a dance machine. Oh, baby. Come on now, what y'all know about that? That's look at EJ. Go ahead, brother. Go talk to me, man. Talk to me. Dancing.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but Michael Jackson and Prince, good man. You got to give credit what credit is due, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to give credit what credit is due. Man, that boy Michael was bad, man.
Yes, he was.
Michael was bad.
But now,
yeah.
I just thought about one, man. Play that funky music.
Average White Band.
Man.
Yeah.
Them boys know they showed out with that song right there, man. I know that was another one right there, boy. I cut up on that one right there, man. I ain't care who played it.
I got one to top it all. Lenny Williams. Lenny Williams.
Maybe you never been in love like I've been in love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, that song is on my playlist.
I know, me too. When I want to get in the mood.
Hey, my both my parents are 81 years old, and one of the driving forces for two of the things that made me buy this property down here, because I had a place in Atlanta where I was staying. Well, I
y'all keep it going for a second. Keep it going, gentlemen. Go ahead.
I had a house in Jonesboro, a large house, pool in the back, all that kind of stuff, and I've always taken care of my parents for some reason, and this is where they're from down here. And I moved them from Atlanta. They stayed in Atlanta for 40 plus years, and I moved them back down here to the country where they're from and everything. And they get out there and they get to the country, they get to breathe the fresh air and stuff like that. And my dad was a old school gangster for the most part. He's still with me. He up there right now. He up there right now. And the only music that I've ever heard him play, the only song that I've ever really heard him play was Trouble Man with Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye, my favorite.
Yeah.
I come up hard,
I come up hard, baby. Have to fight.
Yeah, that's what my favorite too.
On my mic, yeah. Yeah, and that one right there is definitely my playlist. Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we're all, and it's funny that we say this because I know that we're all what I would call real men that we speak of, because we're not perfect, but we all try to live righteous.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, everybody on here, we wake up in the morning, we try to do the right thing, and we want to do the right thing. We want to grow. I'm 42, and I'm not through growing.
Yeah.
And I'm still grow. And even though we still are all God fearing, doesn't mean that we still can't enjoy different types of music or different things like that. The main thing is just that one thing that I gleaned from this conversation is just that we all, at least from the vibe that I get right now, is just that we're all making an effort to live righteous.
Yes, sir.
Do right by everybody that crosses our path. And that's one thing about me is just that even for my oldest, he's about to be 18 in like next Monday. And my youngest, my baby boy, he's about to be 8 in January. And my biggest thing is I need to be the shining example of what I want them to be. I want to be the shining example and everything. And so, but that, and it just makes me feel good that sometimes you kind of lose yourself a little bit and you wonder if you're doing the right thing or if you're traveling the right road. But being able to sit and listen to you all is a big pleasure of mine, and to know that I'm not alone in this struggle, to know that I'm not alone seeing the same thing take place in this world, in this country, in this nation. You know, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all think like, dang, did you just see what I saw? You know. But the good thing is, it made me feel a lot better. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I'm not saying nothing too bad. I just got a lot of irons in the fire, and taking care of 2 elderly parents, you know, is a little bit. It can be a little bit challenging with work and everything. But y'all made me feel good tonight, and it's good to know that I can have a conversation with other brothers that want to be, you know, that truly want to live righteous.
Yeah, good deal. And man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Brother, you saying that, you know, me and you've been knowing each other for a minute now. We've been knowing each other for a minute. Don't know exactly how long, but it's been a minute. That makes everything worth it, man. When we could come together and uplift each other and know and without a shot. I see it all the time. We family here. DKM, man, we all family, man. And that's and you know you're a part of the family, brother. You're a part of the family, man. So if we could do anything to uplift each other in any kind of way, that's what I'm very confident. That's what everybody that's on this platform is going to do. They're going to do the right thing to help each other, man, to uplift each other and make sure that, you know, they're okay. Are you okay? You all right? Rico, talk to me, brother. That's what we do. Rico?
I mean, you know, man, you can go ahead and let somebody else talk, man. I mean, you know, Dawn will probably be good for this moment right here, unless you're trying to go back to some songs or something.
look at don't gonna play. He gonna talk about flashlight. All he gonna talk about is flashlight. You know, Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? That's what we do here, though, man.
You know, I can't say that. I can't say that. I was gonna talk loud, but I can't say that now. But you know, I used to have my flashlight in the corner at the club. Anyway.
I don't want y'all to hold on. I don't want y'all to miss what this brother just said. Now, he in a nightclub. In the nightclub, it's dark. And he get in the corner with a flashlight, shining a flashlight on people, man. Why they do that at Tucson?
Hey, that what the song told you to do. The song told you to do it. That made that the end thing.
He was the only one though, Rico. When nobody else doing it but him. When nobody doing it but him.
So he was having a flashback.
No, but
Yes.
But Raheem, I think my brother just right, because look, the reason why a lot of people don't fool with a lot of people that hold a title, because they can't be themselves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be who I am. I'm not trying to be nobody else. I'm not trying to please nobody. You know, there's a certain time that I feel like if I want to listen to one of them oldies but goodies, I'm gonna do that. Now I ain't gonna be on the block doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's hard to. But let me just put it this way. Hey baby, I think I'm gonna put on Amazing Grace.
Tucson. Tucson, boy.
You something else, bro.
You want to get in the mood. You want to get on the move, baby. You gonna love this.
Yeah,
This gonna get it right here, man. Amazing.
Well, wait, I gotta ask. What song do you play when you pull out that Spider-Man suit?
Uh-oh. Tucson.
Shut up. Shut up.
My man, Tucson, boy. I'm gonna be your agent. We're gonna go.
You know I'm not. I'm never gonna let you drop that. I'm sorry.
We gotta share this with the world, man. It's just natural with you. I love it.
Exactly. Hey, but Tucson, that is a good question. What song you play when you put on that Spider-Man outfit, brother? What? Anyway, don't even worry about it, man. Don't even worry about it.
If I ever meet him in person, he's gonna slap me.
Hey, listen. It's been a great broadcast, man. We got 3 minutes before we get out here. I'm gonna go around and everybody see what they want to say real briefly in their closing, man. Say what you want to say in your closing. Badger, starting off with you, brother. What would you like to say in your closing?
Anyone out there listening, you are not alone. There are people all over, all shapes, all sizes, all colors that have gone through similar things. Don't ever feel like you're alone.
Exactly.
There's always somebody there.
Good deal. Good
So
deal.
be blessed, be safe, always walk forward.
Good deal. EJ?
Just want to say that, like I tell my children, always take 2 seconds out of your day, just 2 seconds out of your day to think about how worse off somebody else has it than you.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. Tucson?
Yeah, I would say that I enjoyed myself tonight, man, and thank you, brothers, for allowing me to come and join. Man, look, just be real. If you just be the real you, I mean, life would be a whole lot better. I think the world is tired of imitators and duplicators.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir. And Tucson, you just hit Mr. Hicks with another one. Mr. Hicks said, "Oh Lord, he done hit me with another." Look at Mr. Hicks. He loving it, man. Mr. Hicks, he loving it. He say, "Oh, I gotta put him on the road." Rico, in your closing, sir.
Yeah, I'm riding along with Dawn on that, man. You know what I'm saying? Walk the walk. You know, be consistent, man. You know what I'm saying? You asked that question earlier about church, and we have to understand that a lot of times the energy that comes behind congregating, there's a lot of energy that comes behind that, and it's so strong. That was a reason at one point in time why they didn't want black people to congregate, because of the power that could come from that. So some people actually took advantage of the church once they felt like it was okay to allow black people to at least congregate to worship the God that they gave you an opportunity to worship. Some people took advantage of that building with those 4 walls to congregate, to build some type of momentum, the energy, and at the same time commune, have built a relationship with each other. So, it is something that we do have to look at, even if it's not going to the church the Christian church. We need to start back having church in some type of way.
Exactly. Mr. Hicks?
Yes. Well, it's like the brother said, I'm a hermit, and I guess by new, I'm a geek, how other folks say that. I spend a lot of time to myself, a lot of time studying, reading, researching. And, I got this large family. When you're 73, all the kids don't have kids, and them kids don't have kids. So, so I'm always preoccupied, but I really enjoyed this space to have a little laughter. And like the brother was saying too, with all the stress in life because it's always there. You need the stress. The stress would help you strive, and it's how to handle it. But this outlet, these talks here, and the Morning Glow thing, that's been therapy for me.
Yes, sir.
Just hearing my thoughts out loud and being able to learn how to focus on what someone else is trying to say. Not just the words, but try to get the spirit of what they're saying. So it's been good for me, especially it's making me want to venture back out in the world out there.
and do some Planet Rock, huh? Rock or what Atomic Dog? Where y'all want to do some Atomic Dog and all that stuff, man. Y'all don't know about all that, man.
I don't know about that.
But look at Chic do some little freak and all that stuff, man. Y'all don't know about all that.
Ball of Confusion by the Temptations.
Yes, sir. But listen, we got it's been a great broadcast, man. And like I said, we got a show that we do every day, Monday through Friday, called The Morning Glow. And on that show, we have a topic on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But typically, we never have a topic on Wednesday because what's on Wednesday? What's it called?
It's called Way Out Wednesday.
Way Out Wednesday. Yes, sir. And that's where we actually let our hair down, man. We don't have a topic. We talk about a whole lot of different things, man. But we all look here. We all let our hair down. Yeah, and we just have a good time, man. And it's fun. We just have fun. So if any of you all are available tomorrow, the show is Monday through Friday from 7 until 10 a.m. Come and be a part of that as well. We'd love to have you on the Morning Glow as well. EJ, brother, if you're available, come on the Morning Glow. We need you to come on.
Your name's AJ, right?
EJ.
EJ. I'm
good
sorry.
to meet you, EJ.
I put a link in the chat for a song that sometimes when I'm feeling down. This is for EJ. This is for EJ. Quit it.
Man, we gotta go, man. You don't have your last comment for the day. You still talking about a dog song.
Hey man, music is powerful. Leave me alone.
Tucson, what we gonna do with your brother, man? Tucson, what we gonna do with your brother?
Tucson. Let's wait. I hear what you say.
We can't hear you, Tucson. You muted.
I can't hear you.
I was really finna mess with Badger. For real. I hope Badger don't get mad with me. I'm finna do.
Lord Jesus.
Hey, I'd rather you. Hey, at least I don't wear a Spider-Man suit.
Well, y'all are something. Listen, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us more than that. I want to thank you for allowing Deacon. Mr. Hicks. Lord Jesus.
Don't be following Mr. Hicks, man.
Hold on.
Tucson started it.
Man, I ain't fooling with y'all, man. Look like man, it's 10:03. Mr. Hicks, it's 10:03, man. Time to go. Boy, y'all something else. I want to thank everybody for joining us more than that. I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and I was going to say the Morning Glow, Lord Jesus, Real Men Being Men, for being a part of your evening. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great evening and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light in from Real Men Being Men. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you feel like going out there, man, get somebody some love. You know what? You just might find some love in return. Have a to you tomorrow morning. You all be blessed. Love you, and have a great evening.